to some current affairs part, which is also linked to the static part. Okay. Asian Waterbird Census. So this was taken the month of January. Taken in the month of January. So Waterbird. So when I say Waterbird, it is very clear that where do you find Waterbird? Where you have water. But what kind of water? Usually it is around wetlands. Okay. So this was a census taken in certain parts of Andhra Pradesh by the Bombay Natural History Society. So whenever you come across an article like this, it's very important for you to at least look at, okay, so if you don't know about this organization, better to do some Google research and find it out. That's a way in which you can integrate a lot of things. Okay, so let's go point by point. Andhra Pradesh, fine, but Bombay Natural History Society is important. It's an integral part of International Waterbird Census. So which means, okay, Asian Waterbird Census is a subset of International Waterbird Census, coordinated by Wetlands International. So this is very important. So you'll find Wetlands International is actually an American NGO. This is an NGO. This is also an NGO. Okay, so this is how sometimes questions are asked. You don't know why they ask something, but somewhere you could figure out from the current affairs why they asked. Okay. So what is the objective? Why do we have to have a census? So one very obvious thing is you need to find the population and compare the population with the previous time to see whether there's an increasing trend, whether it's stable or whether it's a declining trend. That's one simple objective of any census. Okay. But the other objective is to also look at many of these birds are usually migratory in nature, and try to understand those wetlands which are more important from the bird's conservation point of view. So, and that's the objective that is mentioned here. One objective is population, which you have discussed. Other is to identify wetlands of high importance for water birds. Okay. And now, if there are a lot of water birds that are coming to a specific wetlands, and that wetland is turning out to be important from a conservation point of view, it could also be made as a Ramsar site at a later stage. In fact, if you look at it, when I was teaching environment in 2017, I remember the number of Ramsar sites in India was 27. Okay. Now, when I look at it, it is 47. Within 4 years, it has jumped drastically. Okay. So it is because of several census of this type, due to which more and more sites are getting included under Ramsar sites. Okay. So that's on the Ramsar site. Then comes this term called flyway network site. Flyway network site is very simple. When a bird flies, if you remember, I had, I think it was about radiation pollution. When I talk about Amur falcons, starting from, let's say, the northeastern part of India, coming all the way up to Africa and going back and all that. Flyway network site is nothing but when a bird is flying, it cannot fly uninterrupted. There is a source, there is a destination. So it will stop by at typical places, some important places. And usually those important places happen to be wetlands. Okay. They could even be paddy fields. They could even be a very small lake, maybe a 1 acre lake, maybe, but the birds continuously come and sit there, possible. So all those sites which come in the route of the migratory birds, they are called the flyway network sites. That's all. Okay, so that's the other objective. Now let's look at the more important point from a prelims point of view. All these are from prelims point of view. So let me ask you a question. When you read this statement, okay, today I'm asking a lot of big questions. If you read this statement as a civil service aspirant, what will you do? So you have just read the statement called the study covered at least 2 dozen sites, including Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary, Koleru Lake, and Krishna Sanctuary. As a civil service aspirant, what will you do? I mean, you can say what you do. One, the acceptable answer is skip. You may skip the line if you don't like. Location means what, Prachi? You will. all three lie to the south of India's. Find out where they are. You're right, Abhishek. All three lie to the south of India's, and it is not kind of very difficult because all three are parts of Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So one thing that I strongly encourage you is to take your atlas, or better go to the Google map and then see where is this Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary. Any idea? So it is related to birds, absolutely birds. So what do you think? Where would birds come? They are coming to wetland. Now wetland, logic, there are some exceptions, but generally you find a lot of wetlands in where, as in, yeah, I think let me keep the answer question is like, where do you find a lot of wetlands? One place where you will find wetlands, exactly, it is near sea for sure, absolutely near the sea. It is around the river delta or estuary, but not always. It could be a lake also. For example, you have this Pichavaram marshy lands or mangroves. It is somewhat in Tamil Nadu. You have Kanika, you have Sundarbans. So you have a lot of wetlands which are usually in the delta or the estuary regions. Okay, yeah, delta or the estuary regions. So similarly, Koringa wildlife, what do you think? Which, any idea where it is? Want me to see? Yeah, here you go. Can someone tell me the river? Has it already been told? Yeah, true, very true. Kakinada. Can someone tell me the river? Very close, Sagarika. Kakinada. Therefore, logically, what do you think is the river? Abhishek, you should be able to tell this. Godavari. Exactly. Excellent, guys. Godavari is the right answer. So if you just look at it, let me spend a little time over here, so that you see the map and you feel a little comfortable. Okay, it's very close to Kakinada to Koringa. So if someone has to go to Koringa, he has to go to Kakinada. So that's why I think Sagarika has mentioned it. Okay, so let's just stick to it. So one is Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary. Then comes your next one, what they are saying, Koleru Lake and Krishna Sanctuary. Okay, so Koleru Lake. Koleru. Again, Andhra Pradesh. It is between the Godavari and the Krishna Delta. Are you able to see this? Godavari is here, Krishna is here. And Koleru Lake is somewhere in between. You can roughly say between the deltaic region of, between the deltaic region of Krishna and Godavari. Okay, good. So just please do this whenever you get a chance. Now, when you read this article, when you read a newspaper article like this is a sample in which you could dissect the article. One way is to read the article and say, hey, I finished the current affairs for today. Try to avoid that. Try to avoid that. Create those interlinkages. Do something so that the information can go into your long-term memory. Okay. So I felt that all these are important. Bombay Natural History. Maybe not all of us know that there is an NGO which is a very old NGO, 19th century NGO, and also is very important for two censuses. One is Asian Waterbird Census. Another is a National Dragonfly Census, which we will discuss in a minute. Wetland International NGO I got. Then I always knew Ramsar site. Let's say I'm a diligent civil service aspirant, I knew Ramsar site, but this flyway network was little new to me. Okay, so I learned this thing from them. Koringa Wildlife, I roughly knew it is in Andhra Pradesh, but I was not sure whether it is Godavari or Krishna. I figured out that it is Godavari, and I feel a little comfortable. Koleru Lake. Now, Koleru Lake, sometimes it happens that I got confused with Koneru. Koneru is it's a Karnataka place. In fact, Koneru Hampi. For the chess player. Hampi is also named the place. So I got confused between Koleru and Koneru. It happens when you read a lot. I've been there, done that. Krishna Sanctuary is clear. So I have a rough idea of which part of Andhra Pradesh we are talking about. And the article does not stop there. It just mentions in a line casually that the endangered Indian skimmer was also under focus. Endangered. Now, when I looked at endangered, as an aspirant, first time aspirant, I said, okay, what is endangered? I Google it and I find out what is endangered. Indian skimmer, I don't know what an Indian skimmer is. So I just Google and find out the image of it. Then I find who defines endangered, who tells whether it is endangered or not endangered. Then I figure out that there is an organization called IUCN. So as I go deep, it pulls me deeper. Yeah, that's a classic dilemma that many of the civil service aspirants face. How deep should I go? How wide should I go? There is no right answer to it. Yeah. Okay. So now Indian skimmer is endangered. So anything that is endangered or critically endangered, you need to know about it. That's a fundamental. Vulnerable, no problem. Yeah, threatened is a combination. We'll come to IUCN classification. Threatened means it's a combination of vulnerable, endangered, and critically endangered. All three are put together called as threatened. But endangered, definitely you should know. Critically endangered, definitely you should know. Okay, other things you need not know. A few points about it. What is an Indian skimmer? Where they are found? Uh, uh, what were they earlier called as? And all. Okay, and some interestingly, they are also found in National Champal Sanctuary in India. Now, whenever you say National Champal Sanctuary, crocodile, Gharial is the first thing that comes to your mind. But it seems that for the Indian scissor bill or for this Indian skimmer, the National Champal Sanctuary is also a place where they regularly visit. Okay. So how does an Indian skimmer look? Okay, I just take a picture and I'll tend to remember it. Dark orange beaks and white body and black wings. It's a easy bird to spot. Apparently, I somehow have a feeling that I have seen this bird in some of the Chennai-based bird sanctuaries, outskirts of Chennai-based bird sanctuaries. Also, that's the first feel I got when I saw this image. Then what do I do? Of all the things, I have somewhat mapped all the important things. One thing that I have yet to map is, okay, what is this Bombay Natural History Society? Then I take 3-4 points about the Bombay Natural History Society. So I am pleasantly surprised. Achha, so this is the largest NGO, or at least one of the largest NGO. Okay, so that's an additional point for my knowledge. And then one thing is the Waterbird Census. What is the other big thing it does? It conducts the National Dragonfly Festival, apparently. And there are 2-3 points about National Dragonfly Festival that I write. So when I write National Dragonfly Festival, again I figure out that, oh, okay, it is not doing it alone. It is doing it with other big NGOs and multilateral organizations like WWF, UNEP, and National Biodiversity Board of India.